Hi everyone, greetings from National Skills Network. We are continuing with our conversations with the principals of ITIs in India. And this particular conversation is facilitated by Quest Alliance. We wish to thank them for connecting us with ITI Belagavi. This is ITI for Women in Belagavi. It is headed by Mr. Chidanand Bake, who is the principal, and we are very fortunate to get some time from him today to learn more about the ITI, the vision he has for the institution, the achievements and the challenges they have been facing, and what is the road ahead for this ITI. So, welcome to this talk, sir. We would like to know more from you about the ITI itself. It's an ITI for girls. So, please tell us what is very unique about this ITI and what are the popular courses.
This government ITI is established in 1984 purely for the women. So it has started with only three trades for women: electronic mechanic, computer science, and secretarial practice.
Okay.
In 2008, again, this ITI is included in the PPP scheme, public-private partnership. Again, with IMC, help of IMC, we had started new courses: fitter, electrician, motor mechanic vehicle, and diesel mechanic. So with this, we had increased our intake capacity from 100 to 300 numbers now. Means we had increased 200% of intake capacity.
Hmm. Yeah, so what are the popular courses? Because this is for women, and now we also see women taking up courses which were conventionally meant for boys. So, what's your observation on this, and what are some
No,
of
actually, electronic mechanics is a very demand course in
okay.
our ITI. 85 to 90% placement will happen every year. After that, computer science also very demand trade. After this, we had started motor mechanic vehicle, mechanic diesel, fitter and electrician. Women are participating, are taking admissions in even electrician also, even automobile also, motor mechanic vehicle also.
Okay. So, are there some girls who have passed out from these courses, and when they go for a job, do you see that they are received well, or how are they? What is the attitude of the companies which want to hire these girls?
No, actually, nowadays companies are asking for female candidates only
Oh,
because
great.
the government had made 33% female workers they should recruit. So
Mhm.
many big companies asking for in like automobile companies for assembly, for testing, for
Mhm.
quality assurance. They require actually female candidate only.
Okay.
So the students also are happy with company premises and their rules and regulations. Our many candidates are working with our local companies like Ashok Iron, Quest Alliance.
Mhm.
They're quite happy. They're working good there also.
Yeah. I was going through the website and I understand that your ITI is located in an industrial area. So, what is the advantage of having an industrial training institute close to the industry? Can you please tell us how it has helped you?
Many advantages we have, madam. We are surrounded by major industries in Belgaum.
Mhm.
Because of this, we are getting faculties from the industries regularly. When industry faculties visit our ITI, they interact with our faculties and even students. And we send trainees for the industries for on-job training also there for 15 days, 1 month. And in 2016, Government of India started, our DGT has started dual system of training.
Okay.
Here in 2 year courses, 1 year they will learn in ITI and 9 to 12 months they will go to industry. This
Okay.
had helped us a very lot in training curriculum or in skill apporting from this.
Yeah. So being the proximity of the industry definitely has an advantage. I think our audience also should make a point, make a note that, when an ITI is situated very close to the industry, and originally many ITIs were planned like that in India, but it's always good even today to build this kind of a proximity, build that relationship with the industry because it's mutually beneficial. So could you tell us more about partnerships with various industries that you have?
We had made MOUs with many industries, madam. I
Mhm.
think more than 15 to 20 industries. First point is many industries made MOUs for the on-job training.
Mhm.
And second one is for dual system of training. And third one is for industrial visits also. So three categories we are divided and we made the MOUs. And these MOUs are we are doing very successfully. The industry is also very cooperative. Students are going there 15 days, 1 month for on-job training. and they are getting stipends also for on-job training for 3 to 6 months. Though it has helped very lot in our curriculum and even training activities also.
Okay, so besides this short-term work integrated training that you're talking, is there also an option for them to do long-term apprenticeship with industries? Is that also a part of the?
After passing out of 2-year courses, industries are engaging our trainees for 1-year apprenticeship. And every year we are organizing apprenticeship mela also.
Okay.
This month on 4th October, we had organized apprenticeship mela in our institute only. I think more than 100 students are recruited for the apprenticeship only.
Okay. Yeah. And since you were talking about the MOUs you have with the industry, when these MOUs get executed and implemented, what is the kind of qualitative change you see in the ITI? Is it the curriculum? Is it the practical training infrastructure? Is it the teaching staff, the faculty improvement? What are some of the core areas that improve?
Core areas means when we made MOU with the industries for dual system of training, when first batch of the students entered the industry for 6 to 12 months, the students are very happy because they are working on machines, because they are hands-on training. That training is hands-on, practically they are working. Here in ITI, they will learn maximum theory and little bit on machinery. But they know about what is the industry environment, what are the rules and regulations and timing, interpersonal relationships, team building, how to work with the team. That helped trainees a lot. And they are getting stipends also. So trainees are very happy, and even industry is also very happy, because what happens after completion of 2 years of training period in ITI, when training goes to the industry, again they have to give the training for the students. Right. In dual system of training, what happens? They are there for the 6 to 9 months there, so there is no need to train again them in their curriculum or whatever they are following their systems and in industry. So it is helping even industries also and even academia also. Yeah, and in the process, I think, as you said, the students are happy, which also makes the parents happy, because in every family, the parents play a very important role in deciding about. Definitely, madam. Parents are very happy, and nowadays students are asking more for dual system of training. So now we are implementing dual system of training for all the trades. And we are the first government ITI in Karnataka started the dual system of training in 2018. So just out of curiosity, since you're mentioning about the dual system, without the dual system, how does a typical ITI course work? What would be the practical component generally in ITIs when they are not following dual system? Yeah. Without dual system, generally there are 2-year courses and 1-year courses. They will do their theoretical and practical both in ITIs only. After passing up 2-year courses, they will go to the industry for internship or apprenticeship or as a worker. But in dual system of training, they will learn theoretical part 1 year here. After that, they will go to industry for 6 to 9 months for the practical training. And there is a chance for ITI and even industry. That is a win-win situation for both of us only. We can plan. There is a flexibility for training curriculum. We can send them 1 month to the industry and 1 month back to the ITI, or 4 weeks there and 4 weeks in ITI. So dual system of training, it's one of the best, I think, scheme in our ITI. Yeah, and you said it's also popular because there are obviously many benefits for all the stakeholders, right? So nowadays, government of Karnataka made compulsory for each government ITI, they should start at least one trade in dual system of training. Yeah, we were also reading recently in the media that ITIs in Karnataka are also going to implement, come up with new courses like latest technologies, like artificial intelligence, machine learning. And that's also very nice to hear, because I think that will gradually change the image of an ITI from being a very old-fashioned manufacturing oriented training center to something which is much more than that, and addressing the latest requirements of the industry. Sir, so the recent pandemic, as we are aware, has made it very mandatory for us to adopt technology. How was your experience during those days, and what are the learnings from there that you're carrying on? We are also faced many problems in pandemic. Apart from that, we are conducting actually continuous online classes for the students. Each faculty, they had made their own group in WhatsApp, And
Okay.
continuously they are sharing YouTube videos, and we are following the Bharat Skill Course. Bharat Skill Course is there in DCT website. We are sending videos to them. And challenges we face is many students in rural areas, they are not having the network issue. This is the major challenge we are facing, network issue. Second one, some of the trainees, they don't have smartphones. And third one is for recharge problem. So this time we had recharged many students. Online recharge were done for their mobile for the online classes.
Okay. So can we say that going ahead, you will have, a kind of a blended learning kind of a format? Because the pandemic has taught us that we can blend both very well and carry forward. So probably that would be one of the things which will be innovative. So besides this, are there some very specific achievements of your ITI which you wish to share with our audience?
Madam, this is the first government ITI having the ISO 9001 2008 certification in 2013.
Okay.
And our first government ITI started PCB designing and manufacturing production and training unit in 2012. And we are the first government ITI started the dual system of training in Karnataka. And I am the best principal awarded from the Ministry of Skill Development from Government of India. And I received Sarvottam Seva Prashasti from District Administration Belagavi, Government of Karnataka, and received Nation Builder Award from the Rotary Club Belagavi. So one more thing, and we had established the solar museum has been established with the help of the CELCO. Here we are giving training for the diploma, engineering and ITI students for the renewable energy.
Okay.
And in PCB unit, Polytechnic engineering students are taking the short-term training program for 3 months, 6 months. Even MTech students are coming for the internship training program.
Sir, I think that's a wonderful list of achievements. So congratulations, hearty congratulations from the entire team at NSN. We are very happy to hear about this. I was also reading about you on the web, on your website as well. It's amazing to see such a lot of work being done, particularly in a women's ITI, which I think is now trying to attract a lot of girls and show them a path through technical training for employability, for higher education as well. So is there something you want to share, like, how do you show the career path to these students, let's say options for not only jobs, but also higher education, work integrated education? How do you normally do this, sir?
So regularly I will tell my students, you have to leave your inferiority complex. ITI means after completion of ITI, only I have to work as a worker in the industry. No, you can do anything. Many ITI passed out candidates nowadays. You can start your own industry. You can go for the higher education. You can do your own business also. And you can go for higher education. I had seen many 2-3 IAS officers who had gone for the diploma, then they had completed the BE, then they had written the IAS exams. So it could be possible for you also. First, feel proud, I am an ITI completed student.
Yes.
So don't go for that fitter is demand in market, electrician is demand. No. There is no demand for the trade, there is a demand for your skill. So impart skill in the ITI. If you have a good skills, then you have demand in market.
Yes, that's absolutely amazing the way you put it. Like, I think the sense of pride is what is lacking in many students right now. And I think the way we need to rebrand ITIs is with that sense of pride. Like you said, I take pride in my skill rather than, I'm learning a particular trade. But I think some of the ITIs like yours are iconic institutions which can perhaps show the way to others. How they can follow and come up with very positive messages. So besides this, would you like to share anything with the larger audience in terms of the importance of technical education and training? And going ahead, how do you see the future shaping up? Because now in India, we are also talking about rebranding ITIs, creating the image that you just mentioned. So is there something you want to share?
So first, we have to minimize the gap between industry and academia. There is a huge gap between industry and academia. We have to fill that gap by giving the training what industry requires. We have to prepare our trainees as per the industry requirement. In our local industry also, whenever we meet with industries, with Chamber of Commerce, I request them, what is your additional skills you want, you give the list to me. Apart from our curriculum, we will impart the training, additional skill to the training, and you should give assurance to me 80% of placement to the trainees. So when industry and academia joins hands together, we can do anything. And nowadays, technology is changing day by day.
Right.
So we have to cope up with the technology. That's why government of Karnataka made MOU with Tata Technologies. That government of Karnataka and Tata jointly upgrading 150 ITI. They are investing 30 crore rupees for each ITI. So these ITIs are coming with the equipments and the training curriculum for the industry 4 requirement.
Yeah.
Like intelligence, artificial intelligence, IoT, electric vehicle, additive manufacturing. Like this new courses we are starting. From this year only we are starting these courses. Our IT is also selected in this schema.
Yeah. So that's again another laurel for your institution,
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, that's really nice to hear. As I said in the beginning, this interview is facilitated by Quest Alliance. How does your partnership with Quest Alliance work? You can maybe share a bit about that as well before we close.
I think 3 years back, I think Quest Alliance person, Mr. I think Janardhan visited our ITI. I think ours is the first ITI he had visited. We are done there with MOU, and they are helping us a lot actually. They are giving training to our trainers in employability skills. They are training our students. I think this year only they had recruited one faculty, and they are deputed for our ITI only, purely for women ITIs.
Okay.
They are doing very good job. They are giving books to the ITIs. They are donating the computers. They have donated 10 computers for us, for IT lab. Every year they are sending the good books, employability skills. I think they are doing fantastic job, Quest Alliance.
Yeah, I think that's also nice, because I think that's the kind of partnership which helps you build the brand, and also have that kind of system in place for students, like you mentioned, employability skills and other skills which are supplementing the technical skills, which is very important for the holistic development of the student. So thank you so much. On this positive note, I wish to thank you once again, and really wish you all the best for your future endeavors, where we can proudly say that people are joining ITI not by force but by choice, and are making it their first choice. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.